Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Upper right corner got Bonyth starting as the red Protoss. Bottom right corner got Dewalt starting as the blue Protoss. This is Fighting Spirit Mania, set 4 of 7, game 4. Theoretically, Dewalt is 2 wins away from winning this entire thing, or will Bonyth be able to push it to a set 5 and do the reverse all kill? That's the thing we're looking for here. And I have to, so I guess I feel it's weird. Last time, I'm not sure how to wrap this up. I mean, I've been casting these guys fighting against each other or contending for the top position here for quite some time. It's weird because it also feels like a little bit of a reach into the past, because I believe this was completed before Dewalt was able to take the BSL championship. And so I'm not sure if, and we'll see if Bonyth, I guess I'm like talking, and it's also awkward to talk about it this way when I'm not sure if Bonyth is going to go for the reverse all kill, but I'm going to say at least the momentum right now definitely seems to be more in Dewalt's favor overall. It's been interesting to actually watch Dewalt's improvement in particular as these series have continued. And I know that he, I'm hoping actually, I'll be interested to see how deep he gets in, not this season, as I don't know what part of the ASL is going to be at by the time I commentate this. But there's a really large backlog of uploading, by the way. It looks like first scout going bottom right. We are going to see a gas opener from both players. So robotics into gas. It looks like Bonyth is going to end up with first scout here. So I guess I'll do the wrap up thing. It's been just I guess I feel privileged to be able to cast these two guys as a part of it. Hopefully you guys have been entertained. I know that it's been a bit repetitive having a lot of PvP on the channel, but I feel like the games have been high quality. And I feel like, I don't know, Fighting Spirit and the concept of Fighting Spirit Mania, a big part of it is a meme. And hopefully the meme part is enough where it's like, okay guys, maybe we should have tournaments be a little bit smaller in length and scope. Maybe that doesn't create the best, maybe we don't end up with the quote unquote best player at the top as a result. And I think the other thing that this really points out is who is best is very arbitrary, right? Where it's like, okay, this is the person who's best at Fighting Spirit Mania, a particular map, over however many games in a particular time frame, which is just kind of the nature of competition. It's just always changing and evolving and swinging, and you can be on top for a little while, but you're never going to be on top forever, sort of thing, right? And that's just kind of the ethereal nature of it. But there's something in the aspect of competing itself that's just, I don't know, it's good and can lead to good things and can have some fun stuff, including being entertained by watching this, which hopefully you guys have been up to this stage. So let's dive into the commentary more with more fervor here, with more focus. Range being upgraded from both players. Zealot chasing the probe out. A little bit of an early exit there from Dewalt. He's still had a couple seconds to work with. Looks like we're going to see, quick. I'm actually a little bit shocked to see the movement straight to Citadel of Adun here from Bonyth, considering how often Dewalt's gone multiple 2-gate robos. And he's also played it more often than not gateway robotics gateway to make sure that he's getting earlier information into his base, which is a little bit safer, I believe, against the Dark Templar. It's not, basically you end up with fewer troops or faster observers, and we are in fact seeing 1-gate observatory this time. Now, as I said before, this isn't an instantaneous loss by any means. It's also possible that Bonyth goes for something else as far as the tech tree, but I'm presuming, no, Templar Archive's dropping, so this is very likely going to be a Dark Templar. If this turns into 2-gate, so 1-gate, it's there's a lot of things that can happen, especially 1-gate into expansion actually might leave Bonyth with an advantage, but I'm still expecting Dewalt to go 1-gate observer. Yeah, and he's already got the probe lined up. This is just what he's been doing lately, to play kind of the median safe build, and as a result, it'll be very, very difficult for Bonyth to get any headway or counter this. What he can do is, rather than suiciding with this is something that Jaeyoon did in many instances, is although it puts you at a kind of a, how do I put it, there are times in build order matchups where you have the initiative and where you're kind of handing initiative over to your opponent. Bonyth this time, he's already dropping a forge, so I think he just wants that initial Dark Templar to get map control to get a faster Nexus down. And what that does do is that at least pushes you into the mid game, although at least you're down Reaver Tech as a possibility, and you do need to figure out a way to fend off your opponent's you need to figure out a way to deal with the Reavers, and it kind of opens you up in the mid game to having to deal with Reavers attack the natural expansion of the main, potentially attacking the front. First Dark Templar away, by the way. First Observer is already queued up, and by the time the Dark Templar makes it down to the natural expansion, the Observer should be in position. So I don't think this Dark Templar is going to get a lot. The other thing is that Dark Templar needs to move. It needs to make sure it doesn't get killed initially. It looks like we have a High Templar queued up immediately after this. So this is... Ooh, and I think Dewalt saw the Shimmer on his way across. So recognizing that this is in fact a DT build, he's actually still saving 400 minerals to go ahead and grab a Nexus behind this. So he's going to drop... This is how confident he is in this build. He's going to be able to catch the edge of that Dark Templar. Not even lose a probe. Oh, actually do not like that for Bonyth. Suicided the Dark Templar. He's got a few... Now he's down troops. He's got that Nexus down, but he's also had to drop a lot of photon cannons behind this. And the Observer... It's got to stay at home base until that second Observer is built. Looks like we do have a second Observer queued up. Citadel of Adun... Oh, are we seeing a reverse? So this will... I'm interested how Dewalt's going to play this. Because he dropped his own Citadel of Adun here. Is he going to go for drop with it to try to fly over the cannon line? As far that can really spread opponents thin. This has actually just been one gateway of production for Bonyth up to this stage. He's actually behind 3 workers, so Dewalt, by the time this Nexus finishes, I think this is just commentator sense. I think he'll end up down a set. He'll end up down a worker, is what it comes down to. Second gateway with all the timing of that. We'll have to see whether that's the case or not. Second assimilator drop, by the way, so it's going to be a lot of gas. Or a little bit of an early transfer here from Dewalt, so going to end up a little bit behind. But Dewalt basically with the supply lead. The Observer needs to get out of cannon range. Never mind, gets picked off. I think it saw the High Templar in the space of that. So Psystrom's going to be there for Bonyth. His problem, though, is if a shuttle's constructing, and a shuttle is constructing behind this. So Dewalt at full range. I don't even know that range has been upgraded actually for Bonyth. No, never mind. I think he did have the range upgrade in the space of this. Going to go ahead and drop his own robotics facility at this stage. Was I right? 2 workers. So it's off by 1. So yeah, Dewalt still maintains the worker lead in the space of this build order. Bonyth does get to the mid game, but again, this is kind of the issue is its initiative. We have Dark Templar building. We have a shuttle building in the meantime for Dewalt. Going for the counter DT drop. We have a photon cannon dropping in the main. Now here's the thing. A photon cannon and 4 Dark Templar is not sufficient defense. The observers, and are there going to be observers in time is the next question, because there's a lot of territory where this could be a problem. Bonyth actually stepping out. I think he might have a sense of this now, because he sees the 4 Dragoons and he has to be like, okay, where's the rest of your attack force? But can he do anything about this is the next question. He's got a lot of he's got a lot of Psystroms to work with, so might be able to get something done there. And Dewalt stepping into the Dragoons, trying to make sure that that attack force is even smaller, so the Dark Templar can potentially create even more havoc. Going up to 4 gateway, the observatory could get picked off in the space of this. That would provide opportunity to get another photon cannon in place. I think these mineral patches are at risk. He could drop right on top of the cannon as well. Yeah, just going to go after that observatory. Actually going to go after the forge to halt +1 weapons, and this could expend a lot of Psystorm as well. Dewalt getting what probes he can. So there's one Psystorm walking into a little bit of detection range. Oh man, Psystormed his own High Templar in a Porsche. Oh, did get the Dark Templar in the space of this. This will halt what would have been an advantage for Bonyth in +1 weapons. And in the meantime, Bonyth has gone up to 6 gateways. He's got the economy to sustain it. He's not going to have the +1 weapons to play alongside. It looks like he does have Zelt leg speed upgrading, but +1 weapons is Zelt leg speed there for Dewalt as well. He's able to get an advantage in the overall worker count. He's got that shuttle, which provides him a little... Oh, he's going to go for Sidestorm drops over the natural expansion. This is what I meant, by the way, when I was making that comment, I don't know how many minutes ago, about initiative, by the way. He says, yes, you end up with the economy, but you kind of have to absorb whatever... You're kind of dealing with whatever your opponent's throwing at you. In the space of that. In the meantime, Dewalt up a massive amount of supply. He's going to end up ahead in tech with that +1 weapons. And Bonyth actually supply blocking himself briefly in the space of all this. Actually dropping double forge to try to make up the difference here. Dewalt making his way forward with a lot of his troops. I think as a distractionary attack, might pick off a High Templar here. Yeah, it's peeking in, trying to draw Bonyth away, taking a couple shots, and now that drop making its way into the natural expansion. Oh, and all sorts of workers getting annihilated in the space of this. This drops him to 36, which I think is going to make it so he went up to 8 gate, and he needed that worker count to be able to work with that gateway count. This is maximum production off 2 bases. I think maximum saturation off 2 bases is something like 45, something around there. It's not 36, I'll put it that way. And so now he's not going to get full efficiency out of these gateways, so that's a bit of sunken cost as well, unfortunately. Zealot staging around the corner, +1 weapon's about to finish, so Bonyth is now forced into a fight towards his opponent's natural expansion. That shuttle's still there. It still has the High Templar in it, by the way. Bonyth folding out, going ahead and checking locations. Dewalt actually going to drop a Nexus here at the 6 o'clock location, potentially. Or is Bonyth going to try to sneak an expansion in the space of this? Zealot leg speed finished, by the way. High Templar out on Dewalt's side of the map. These High Templar need to hit some amazing side storms. What needs to happen? Dewalt sees it, is scrambling around. His High Templar able to drop a side storm to kind of counter it. Now we're engaging. Bonyth forced into this fight to try to equalize things. Again, down +1 weapons. Does have more side storm to work with, though. So maybe that'll be enough. We'll have to see. I have a feeling it's not going to be, though. More side storm dropped in the space of this, and we have dwindling Dragoons as far as what remains, and it looks like they are in fact going to get cleared out. That's leaving a massive supply lead as far as what's left. Also, I missed this. There was a side storm drop and a morph into Archons at the natural expansion behind this. So now Bonyth has an emptied natural expansion as well, and an Archon. It looks like it might have forced some morphing of Archons here in the background. I don't think this is Bonyth's. Yeah, or I should say, I don't think that's Dewalt's is what I meant to say. 6 o'clock Nexus is now coming online. Dewalt is in firm control of this. He's got a shuttle that he can go ahead and sneak up and reload if he wants to. And Bonyth on really just kind of a limping base at this second. You can see how many of these gateways, a lot of it looks like he's producing Zealots to try to make the best of this situation. But even just producing Zealots, this gateway remaining off queue as far as that flatline production. And trying to store a lot of gas, maybe to go High Templar to bail himself out, pressing forward with a lot of Archons. In a space of this, the Dragoons should be able to walk and take care of this attack force. I have a feeling that will be G. Yeah, there's GG. So Dewalt, so Bonyth taking risks and Dewalt just really sacking it. Very convincing win. He is now 1 win away from being the Fighting Spirit Mania champion. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.